Hey guys, and welcome back to another mod update video where we will be going over what has been done with the Copperdale Festival mod. I don't know if this video is going to be 15 minutes, I don't know if it's going to be 30, I don't know if it's going to be an hour. We'll just see what happens. Like usual, we will be going over everything I have done since the last mod update video. And then also, I think we're going to also be planning and making some games that are also going to be included in the festival. So if that sounds like a plan, let's go ahead and get started with the video. Okay, so just to start off, there is one thing I do want to go over first, and that is the fact that I have finished the final section of the festival. If you're following in my last mod update video, you know I had finished these two, which is the fire pit area, the campsite area, and then the crystal cave area. So this is now what this spot is looking like. Maybe later we'll go over what it looks like in the dark or at nighttime as well. But if you are a member over on Patreon, you'll see what this area looked like in the very beginning. If I can find it, I'll go ahead and put a picture up on the screen of how it looked when I started. And I think it just looks 10 times better than that. I still need to go ahead and add, of course, the anime deco sims and the game runners to this section as well. But I'm really proud of it. I'm really happy with it. I think it looks good. And also with the completion of this section, I have finished the majority. I think, there's always going to be some tweaks, but I have finished, shut up please. I have finished the decorating for the festival. So what it looks like now is a lot of what it's going to look like in the future, with the exception of some more things to be made. Like I just remembered I have to finish the shopping area. Of course, that needs to be done. And then also the anime deco sims that we're going to be adding to this as well. As I said earlier, one of the ways I'm going to be releasing this Copperdale Festival mod is going to be by uploading the save file itself. And I've been seeing townies and randomly generated sims walking around while doing this. And I turned off neighborhood stores and everything, but I'm really hoping MC Command Center is being nice to all of these townies. But one thing that I would really like to show you and go over with you guys is the banners, and you probably have started to see some of them before. I've gone ahead and updated the banners that are in each section of the festival, and these are kind of going to be like our markers for the 3 primary stations of the festival. So over here, we'll see this first banner. I turn off my reshade to look at them. This is what the first banner is looking like, and it's just of this area. This is what the campsite banner is looking like, and then this over here is what the crystal area banner is looking like now as well. One thing I may do is now I'm thinking about it, I may have it so when you hover over it, it says like the crystal cave area. Yes, so this is what they're currently looking like, but there are also more than just these 3 swatches. I'll show you them in a second. But right now it just says Copperdale Festival on them, and I'll go ahead and leave it like that since it's in Simlish, not a big deal. Over here is the rest of the swatches for the banner. I believe there are 7. Yes, so there are 7 different swatches for them, and this is primarily because I couldn't decide on what I wanted the crystal cave area to look like. So we have these 3 that we just went over, I believe, and then we have these other ones of the crystal cave and just different banners, but I'm including all of them in the download anyway, so it's fine. Also, you'll notice that my reshade looks a little different, or my G-shade looks different. I went ahead and added this outline shader when I was working on the parking garage speed build that I uploaded recently for the zombie set that came out today, actually. What is it, the 29th? But it's kind of grown on me. I don't know, I didn't really like it before, but we'll see. It's not very UI friendly, as you can see during gameplay, but we'll leave it on. Another thing I would like to go over is in this area over here, and you'll see I have updated the banner for the backdrop. But first I'm going to go over these outfits over here. Okay, you'll see also that I've gone ahead and created the other outfits for the mannequins that are going to be here that you could take or buy an outfit off of before you go ahead and take your picture. It was very hard to put these outfits together, sticking strictly to base game. What is it? Base game high school years and get famous, especially for the children. There's like nothing in there, but I think I did pretty good. Also, you'll see that these outfits look a little dirty. That's because I use CC dirt overlays. One of them comes with the set I use for the zombies. They have a dirt overlay. I'll include a link to the download in the description. And then I also used another dirt overlay. I'll also include that one linked below as well. The reason I feel comfortable doing that with these though is that if you don't have those CC items, it'll just be the same outfits, just not with the dirt overlay. So it'll be completely fine. But I think this really, like, when in doubt, just throw dirt on it and say they're out mining or whatever. Okay, so really this one is the only one that's clean. Talking about the backdrop, I'm not really sure what's okay. So I went through a bit with this backdrop to get it to look like this. Let me turn reshade off real quick. It looks one of my problems with it though is I'm not sure about this font color being brown. I may change that to white. We'll see. But I feel like there's a reason I didn't pick white, but I don't know. And that it looks very saturated right now, and I'm not sure why that's happening because like right now my reshade's off. You'll see like it looks very saturated, but this one is way better than the first one. I'll go ahead and show you what it first looked like because it was rough. This is what the first one looked like, guys. Like, look at it. No, because, like, look at it. Ooh, this was rough. This was rough. This was me just taking items or objects out of, straight out of Sims 4 Studio and then just putting it together by hand. Because I was like, it's a cave. I can go ahead and do it. And this was with me using Ninja Ripper to go ahead and take the photo. Okay, wait, I think it is because it's outside. I do have the sunblind lighting mod in my game, and that makes, especially this time of day, it makes it like way warmer. But this is more accurate to what it looks like. I'm not sure why it's becoming so saturated when it's outside. Let me see with the reshade. I'm not really sure what's happening with that. I thought it was me and I had to change the photo, but this is what it looks like outside. These are the pictures. I like this one way better. I may change that brown. It just says Copperdale Festival in Simlish as well up there. Yeah, I'm gonna need to delete this one. And yes, so this is what the backdrop currently looks like. We go ahead and take a picture. And then this is what it looks like in the back right here. Let me go ahead and make it brighter for us. Okay, yeah, so this is what it's currently looking like now with and then without the reshade. This time of day looks so intense with my reshade in Copperdale. Whoa, it's like intensely orange out here. The next thing we need to go over is our updates with the Crystal or Coal game. So then over here, you'll see what it is actually looking like right now. I went ahead and made the animate deco sim who's going to be working the table. This is a table that he is at for the game. And then when you hover over him right now, okay, that's the only thing with the outlines. Like, that's what it looks like. The sun set and it got dark quick. Jesus. But I do like my game looking, when it's nighttime, I like it looking like nighttime. I want it to be dark. And this is how it looks, okay? But I'm gonna give it a moment for the lights to come back on. Okay, now to resume what we were talking about, this is what his setup is currently looking like right now. And then when you hover over him, it says Game Runner, Crystal, or Coal. I'm trying to find a good angle for this. But I think I want the game runners to kind of be like volunteers from the community of Copperdale. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to have its name over the head. So like when you click on a sim, it says her name is Chai Death, and she's a young adult. So I think I'm going to change it to say like Stephen Woodbarrow. I don't know, I just made that up, right? That would say his name up there. I'm also going to change the way the UI looks, but it's going to say his name first. So like Stephen Woodbarrow, and then it's going to say Game Runner after that as well. So it won't say Crystal or Coal. It's fine. Just the name and then the Game Runner, because I do want it to have that look like he's just a member of the community who volunteered to work the table or the game, right? Also, I was thinking since this game is Crystal or Coal, that I should move him from over here to the Crystal Cave area over here instead. So we do need to figure out a better lighting source because it is dark. Oh wait, also, wait. Never mind. That's the reshade. Over in this area, we'll see what the cave looks like. So I have these two lights that are the same as in the photo area, lighting up the cave entrance. And then in here, if you don't recognize it, this is actually the cave to the Forgotten Grotto. And I've already opened it up so that your Sims could just go, they should just go ahead and click on it and then travel straight to it if you'd like. And then when they leave, I believe they should come straight back. And then if you swing around this back area over here, I think this is the space where I'm going to add another animated deco sim. Well, the animated deco sims for decoration, but also the one that's going to be a game runner. I think I'm gonna put a game runner back here just to go ahead and explore this area. With these floor pieces like this, your Sims can walk through them. As you can see, girl, chill out. As you can see here, the only thing is she exploring? Great. The only thing is you can't like click. It won't let you like click on the floor and say go here, but they can walk through them. You may have also noticed these tables that I have out back. Girl, I will delete you. I will delete you. You don't even have the fear anymore. Chill out. Over here, you'll notice that I have some tables put out as well. It's because I was trying to think about how I want the shopping area to be and what type of tables I want them to use for this section. All of these ones I've been considering for the stands of like what they sell and stuff, but I'm not quite like I don't think I'm gonna use this one actually. But see, like I'm not quite sure of how I want it to look. So that's another thing I need to, I think I barely saved her in time. Girl, you're welcome. But again, this is what the shopping area is going to look like. So we're going to have the tables over here, and then we're going to have animated deco sims working the tables where you could buy different stuff from. Okay, not gonna lie, it's been like 40 minutes, but I looked at my phone and realized my story is updated. And if you know, you know. I have to go handle that. But anyway, these are all of the stores I'm thinking of, or the little shops I'm thinking of that are going to be in the shopping area, and then all of them are going to be run by animated deco sims. So an area where you could buy treasure maps, and I'll go over what treasure maps are in just a second, but they're essentially, they come in the base game, but I feel like some people don't know what they are. But a store is going to be selling the base game treasure maps, also going to be some jewelry from Crystal Creations, the Get Famous helmet. I could also go over what that is for people who don't know, the crystal charging mat that comes with Crystal Creations, and then I'm thinking of making like little CC crystals that are going to be sold as well. I was trying to decide if I want this to be sold in the shop area or if I want these to be sold by the fortune teller. But basically, I was thinking that you could buy the crystals, right? And then they would have different... I was either thinking if you view them, they'll give you like an emotion buff. But I think it might be more fun if I had it have a like environmental effect. I forgot what it's called, like, but the environmental like buff thing, where all Sims who are near it instead would feel it if you turn it on. And for that reason, I was thinking like you could have your sim buy a crystal that's gonna make everyone around them angry or sad. And I think it would be fun if like your crystal, if you had it out for someone, you could like break into someone's house and put a crystal somewhere in their home, or you could gift it to them, right? And then like have that sim set it down and said it makes them sad or angry, and like that the sim you'd give it to like in the story, right, they wouldn't know. It'd be like, hey, here's this crystal, you know, I have a gift just for you. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's like giving them depression. That's so messed up. But in The Sims, we can make it happen. But then like looking at this space here, I don't know if we have room for all of those shops. Maybe like room for 3 or 2 shops, maybe even. So I'd probably double up on some of those as well for who's going to be selling what. Also, I think I'm gonna go ahead and take this time to move the crystal or coal seating area. I think I'm not gonna do this. Over to the Crystal Caves area. I need to change them. Okay, yep, and then it's working perfectly. When it comes to the mystery chest game that I went over in the last mod update video, I realized that that game wouldn't be compatible with children, just because children have that weird thing of having different available skills than adults. So I'm gonna have to redo that. I also didn't like the way the interactions were looking. I think it could be organized better. So I went ahead and scrapped the chess game, but I am going to remake it again. I'm gonna just do it again from scratch because I think I can make it at least like look better, run better for your teen through adults and then your child sims as well, so it just functions better. I also want to work on making a multi-sim game. So reason for more than one of your sims to play the game. So right now, the two games I have are the mystery chest game, the crystal or coal game. But for the crystal or coal game, that's really like for you to play the game. So if you have two sims in the same household, there's really no point in having them both play the game. And then for the mystery chest game, the same thing goes. You get a certain skill and it allows you to unlock a chest. But there's really no point in, like, you wouldn't have two sims unlock the chest. So basically, I want to have more games where you could have two sims or more than one sim in the same household play it and get different outcomes. And I want to have a game like that. Okay, so with that being said, I also want to have a child-oriented game, and I want it to run like that as well. So differently from the first two, I want it to run so there's a reason for you to have more than one child sim play the game, right? They would have different outcomes. And with this being said, I want to make a game that's just for children, because I think children need more like exclusive just for them type things. So I need to think of a game for that as well. And I would also like to make a fortune teller game. Okay, so here is the comment section of my last mod update video. Okay, ignore all of my recommendations. Okay, you're seeing too much. You're seeing too much over there. Keep your focus over here. One of the comments I got was, how about an NPC who reads cards or crystal balls using the life or death pack? So I don't know, I said like my gears are turning, like it gave me an idea because it did, but I think that's going to be the last thing we go over in this video. Okay, so we're going to take a quick moment to go ahead and go over what I was talking about the treasure maps and the helmet that came in Get Famous. But starting off with the treasure maps, in base game, when your sims dig up different things on the floor, you have an option, or there's a possibility of your sims getting what is called treasure maps. These treasure maps are supposed to make it so that the next time your sim digs up something, they'll have a greater chance of, I'll put that in my inventory. They'll have a greater chance of pulling something cool, right? So if I could go ahead and I'll grab a treasure map, put it in my sim's inventory real quick. You'll see if you hover over it, it says treasure map, an old worn roll of paper with cryptic markings smudged with dirt. It might be a good idea to keep this in your sim's inventory before they start digging. Okay, so I was able to go ahead and find this, what is this, dig site thing over here. And now that, okay, we need to see, I'm gonna show you with this sim first. So this sim has no treasure maps in their inventory. So if I click on it, it's just gonna say dig. But because this sim has a treasure map in their inventory, if I click on it, it has an option that says dig for treasure, and it uses one of my treasure maps. Now, when I go ahead and have my sim dig it, it's supposed to give me a higher chance of finding something better. So in this case, we'll see what I got. So I got a time capsule. Of course, you could get a time capsule when you don't use the treasure map, but it's supposed to make it better. Like here, I got a rare zombie Carl. So that's how that works. Now we can go over this helmet over here, and this actually comes with, what does it come with? This comes with Get Famous, and it is the celestial crystal. Let me close this. It is the celestial crystal crown. So open your mind and spirit, experience the powerful rejuvenation of crystals augmented by the celestial crystal crown's magnetic fields. Feel the vibrations, their energies harmonizing with your own, transforming your aura and aligning it with each crystal's unique properties. To use, hover over any crystal to see a preview of its capabilities. Crystals can be purchased on the computer, and rare ones can be discovered in the world. Once a crystal has been selected, insert it into the helmet's slot. I'm now going to have my sim put the helmet into her inventory, and then I'm going to select the helmet, and it says mount crystal. I went and bought 3 crystals, and now you can see when I hover over them, it shows me what they do when they're inserted into the helmet. So the Amazonite this crystal boosts archaeology and mental skill for children. Skill gain recharges all needs except for hunger. And then the alabaster is going to clear the sim's mind of tense energies. Its power level is high. This one's power level is also high. And then the amethyst is going to boost your logic and your mental skill for children and recharge the hunger need. Okay, so I think a good one to show off is that one. So if my sim, I'll make her hungry. I'm then going to put the amethyst into the crystal. Amethyst, and I'm going to have her wear the crown. So you'll see, it's not the most flattering helmet, but this is what it does. And you'll see that I even know it would go that fast, but I guess the power levels are high. It boosted my sim's hunger need all the way to the top. So I'm going to have this helmet also be one of the things that you could go ahead and buy from the from these shoppers as well. And now I think about it, I should have one of them also selling regular crystals as well as energy crystals. We'll go ahead and differentiate the two now so that your sim could also buy stuff like this, so it'll work. Yes, I forgot how goofy this looks, but it's actually kind of cool. Okay, so now we could step into going ahead and brainstorming the children's game. Okay, so it's been a minute, but I think I have made some progress and figured out what this game is going to look like for the children. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I was looking through the debug items, as I said before, and then I ran across these frogs. Now, sometimes something I like to do that will help me think of things is trying to think of gameplay for these items in game that we don't really like. When's the last time you actually given your sim a pet frog? You know what I mean? Like who cares? But I was thinking these frogs could actually be a reward for one of the games, and then, or for this game, right? So your children could have pets. And to make it more of a pet, I was also thinking about maybe like changing it so you could actually be able to name the frogs and then form a relationship with them. But that is something I'm going to figure out after I put the game together. Or also just be decoration, it's fine. And then I kept scrolling up and I ran into these, where is it? I ran into these things, right? And they're like little pet aliens you could have as well. I also went in game and checked it out, and it turns out they're available for base game. I thought it was like a get to work thing, but no, they're in the base game. I have no idea how you could get these through gameplay, or I don't know what's really happening with these, but I thought that these two would be pretty cool options for prizes that your children could win from playing the game. But then I had to think of what game would they be playing still? This would just be the prizes, right? So then I started thinking about games that people play, and that eventually brought me to this. Well, this is about a couple of things, but this was actually a series I was really obsessed with binging probably like 5 years ago, looking at within this 6 years, coming out 6 years, probably like 5 years ago. I really loved it, and it was tabletop RPG series. Now tabletop RPG is something that's like very, very foreign to me, but I don't want to talk about it too much because I feel so stupid talking about it, because I don't really know what it is, but I know what happens in the show. And I was like, I have an idea. I'm going to make the game for the children be follow the same type of format as this, right? So then I started thinking of, what if there were two different scenarios or like game sequences you can go through that will kind of give you more explore about the story of Jasper, and then each prize would be either a frog or an alien, right? So there'd be two scenarios. There's one for where the frog is prize, and then one where the aliens are the prize as well. And there would be 3 questions basically. So it would be like a dice roll game, but it would only be evens and odds. So there would be like one question where it's gonna be like, oh, your sim Jasper. The story was that Jasper used to be a baker when he was younger, right? So one day Jasper runs away from being a baker and he comes across like an alien ship or whatever. And then the story progresses whether or not you roll even when you need to or roll an odd when you need to. So like he comes across a cave, and if he rolls an even number, then he'll be able to enter the cave. And if he rolls an odd, he trips, falls, and gets sad and then returns back home, right? Something like that. Or he gets a greater chance of getting the roll he needs if he has like the motor skill, level 3. And then he has a greater chance of continuing. And then there's 3 sections. And yeah, basically, I don't want to over explain it, but basically, essentially everything that I just said to you is what I wrote up to ChatGPT of what my ideas were and how I kind of wanted it to work out in the different sections. And then I also, in the mod update 1, I had written out the story of Jasper Prescott. So then I also gave ChatGPT the story of Jasper Prescott, and then I asked them to take into account the story of the aliens and the frog, and then somehow interweave that with the story of Jasper. So while you're playing it, you're following the adventure of Jasper Prescott, and it somehow relates to his lore. So basically, to like organize and complete the rest of my ideas from this rough draft version. And then it did. So I'm gonna show you what it ended up coming up with from that. So over here was my notes for the rewards, which is what I started with. I was going to include there's going to be 3 scenarios. There's going to be one for the frog, one for the alien, the one for a void critter card. But actually, I think I'm going to end up scrapping it just because I think I want to stick to 2, because thinking about how like complex each of the stories are going to be and actually putting it together is a bit much. But we could go ahead and work through this is the scenario I want to go ahead and walk through first, because I like the other scenario better. So I'm only going to show you this first one. So I'm thinking the game runner for this is going to be a child, and the child is going to be like the narrator guiding you along each step. Also, because, like AI wrote this, the dialogue is a bit, it's a bit off. So then I'm going to need to go through and adjust that when actually making the mod. So if it sounds a little off, I'm gonna change it when I create and put the mod together. But going through the first narration and prompt, it says, so after Jasper Prescott So I'm also going to make my hopes. I haven't thought about how I'm going to get it done, but I'm thinking about making also like a little board game, like tabletop type situation board and stuff. So the game runner would be a child, and in front of them would have two board thingies that go with each scenario. So you'd click on the board to actually play the game. And then it would be like pop-ups and stuff to keep you going. But the narration prompt starts with, so after Jasper Prescott got rich off his shiny rocks and big dreams, he got real quiet for a while. People thought maybe he got tired of the noise, or maybe his knees started hurting. But I know the real reason. See, one day while skipping rocks at the pond, Jasper met her, Tia. She liked frogs, poetry, and calling Jasper out. And boom, heart eyes. See, like this one, I particularly hate this one. But I'm going to change it, so we'll work it out later. Want to help him impress the girl of his dreams? Great, roll the dice. Let's see if love is in the air, or if Jasper gets dunked in the pond. The first level is called First Leap. It says Jasper was nervous, like hiccup and trip on your own shoes nervous. He saw Tia sitting on the log reading a book about frogs with swords. Coolest girl he'd ever seen. So obviously he panicked and caught a frog to give to her. Problem is, the frog jumped away mid-sentence and landed in her lap. Now it's time to roll. Roll like the fictional dice. So will Jasper look cool or like a dude who throws amphibians at strangers? So here there's going to be an option to, the pop-ups are going to be like the Christopher Cole game, and there's going to be an option to roll the dice, and it's going to say you need an even number to proceed. So it's going to be 50% chance even, 50% chance odd. However, if you have the social skill of level 3 or higher to charm with, or have social skill level 3 or higher to charm Tia with a weird but sincere apology. If you fail, it'll say Tia blinks, Jasper sweats, then she picks up the frog, gives him a tiny glare, and walks off like a queen. Ooh, that's another one that hurts. That is another one. Ooh, but this somehow feels like a microaggression. And then you would get a buff that says frogs don't fix everything. It's gonna be embarrassed. So I think that is the game that's going to be put together for the children's one. And then we're also going to be putting together the fortune teller one. And then for the last game in the festival, it's going to be the fortune teller. And basically my ideas with this first started with, I feel like in a lot of fortune teller things or things similar to this, it's like you start off with your sign, right? And I personally just really don't like when, like, I don't want to say don't like, but having real fortune, like, what is it called? Zodiac signs in The Sims. For me, it's like having a poster that has English letters on it in The Sims. Like, I don't really like it. It's like, it's too much for me to be like, this Sim's a Virgo and this one's a Capricorn and this one's like, I don't like it. I know it's a thing in The Sims 2 as well. It's not for me. At first, I wanted it to be like a simplified version of this. So all the zodiac signs are split into elements as well. Like I'm a Virgo, that's an earth sign. So the first would be 3 questions before you would get your fortune told by the fortune teller. It would ask you your sign, and you would just determine this based off of the season your sim is born in. So is your sim an earth sign, fire, water, air? Then it would go into what does your sim currently desire, and you could either pick love, wealth, adventure, or wisdom. And then it would ask another question, which was the obstacle. What's obstacle standing in their way? Time, fear, another person, or yourself. And then the combination of these 3 would each produce a unique fortune based off of this for your sim. And I thought that this would also be really cool in the storytelling of whatever you have going on in your game. Like for me, I'm an earth sign. I think I'm about to study abroad. So I'm gonna go with earth, adventure, and then what's standing in my way is probably myself. So my fortune would be you are both the question and the answer until you understand yourself as earth knows the mountains that endure the test of time. The thrill of what's beyond the next step will remain just out of reach. So maybe you would have your sim, from taking this, you would have your sim maybe like plan a solo trip or spend time by themselves, explore the skills that they have, break up with their partner or whatever to go and adventure and explore, which I thought would be really cool in terms of like as I said previously, like the storytelling aspect, or just be a cool thing to have your sims do, especially since there's so many options. But the problem is this, in this system, is that there's so many options. If I did it this way, there would be, 64 different outcomes based off of all these combinations of water, love, and obstacle. And don't get me wrong, this sounds super cool, but it also sounds like way too much for a mod inside a mod. This right here, this is a standalone mod. Like, it's a lot, and thinking about like the logistics, I think it's just the time consuming and trying to get the Copperdale Festival mod like out and done. This is just too much. You know what I mean? Like, it's not it. So over here we have a simplified version of the game that is not going to be as intense as that first one. But now we're going to go ahead and transition to the tarot cards. Because look, I'm saying this when I haven't actually made the tarot cards yet, because I think I'm going to try to draw them. Am I a drawer? No, but sometimes I could whip something up. You know, I could throw something together to, you know, figure it out. But we'll see. When we get back, so either in the next clip, I'm gonna take some time to go ahead and draw those up, and if the video is on its ending, that means they didn't turn out good. If you end up seeing what the drawing looks like, that means I'm thinking about possibly using that. So we'll just go ahead and you'll know in like 3 seconds, so we'll figure it out. Okay, y'all, it's been like 2 hours and my neck is killing me, but this is what they currently look like. Yeah, she's a bit, you know, crooked, but, you know, maybe it adds character, and to be fair, in-game, it's probably gonna look something close to that. So you won't be all up in the details, you know? And then also, I went ahead and look at that. This is what it's probably gonna look like, because I made it 128 by 128. This is said picture I'm referring to. Each of these ones that I used were 128 by 128. So I feel like this should be fine. I could test it in game. Should I test it in game? Nah, sorry. I think I'm just go ahead and wrap this up right here. All right, so if you have made it to the end of the video, I'd just like to give a quick thanks. As always, let me know if you have any comments, suggestions, or feedback on how everything is going. And also, if you have a name for this freaking festival, so it's not just Copperdale Festival, let me know. Because I can't have like the vision of the teens at school, like the people who live in Copperdale can't be like, hey, you going to the Copperdale Festival today? Like, that doesn't make sense. I will go ahead and see you guys later. Bye bye.